Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. We're continuing our conversation with Lisa Sather about how you can be an engaged and empowered patient when it comes to your health and your medications. Lisa, let's talk about some scenarios that we might run into when we go to our pharmacy. Let's say I get a prescription filled and I go into the pharmacy and find out it costs hundreds of dollars. Do I have any options there?
That's a great question, Beth, and I think this is a great subject to discuss for our viewers. So I think firstly, it's really important to note that if you have any reservations about the cost of your prescription as you arrive at the pharmacy to pick it up, you immediately ask to speak with your pharmacist, because if you choose to pay for that prescription and it leaves the pharmacy, by law, it cannot be returned. You're not going to be refunded the money.
Oh, okay.
So very important to know. So it's really, I think it's interesting to point out that most providers are not going to be aware of all the different types of prescription plan formularies that are out there. What might be less expensive for one plan might not be less expensive for another plan, even between Medicare Part D plans and those kinds of things, all kinds of different commercial insurance plans. So having said that, your pharmacist may be able to then say to you, look, there may be another alternative available. I can even write down some options for you that you could discuss with your physician that may cost less than the prescription that has been prescribed. Sometimes that may not be the case. Sometimes there may not be an alternative. However, more times than not, there potentially may be something else you could start out with that would be less or expensive and still work the same. Your pharmacist may even be able to call up your physician and discuss those alternatives on the phone and help you out that way. So that's just a great conversation to have with them, and it's another reason why they're such an important part of your healthcare team.
Absolutely. Okay, I have another one for you.
Sure.
Let's say my doctor gives me a coupon for a prescription. I get a 3-month trial, and at the end of that 3 months, I find out that now my prescription costs $450. What do I do?
Heard of this happening quite often, and we've had this happen quite often, in fact. So free trial coupons or free trial offers are coupons that drug manufacturers provide to physicians' offices in order to help offset the cost of prescription drugs. Now, that can be a good thing in the situation where there is not another alternative for you, and they may help offset the cost for a period of time. Say 3 months, you may have a $0 copay, or even for 3 months, you may have a $20 copay per month. The unfortunate situation is oftentimes these prescription coupons are always for brand name drugs. So once they run out, you go to fill your prescription, and the prescription's going to be full price because your prescription plan doesn't recognize, that you haven't tried something different. So it's just really important at that point in time to talk to your pharmacist, and they can maybe counsel you again on what maybe some other lesser expensive alternatives. You can talk to your doctor and say, look, great, thanks for the coupon, but now I'm having to pay $450. What is something else that might work best for me? I can tell you, in most cases, there's going to be a generic alternative. It may not be the same generic drug, but it may be a generic drug within the same therapeutic class of drugs that is going to work as well for you as something else that was a brand name drug given a coupon to get you out the door and get you going.
Okay, great. And we have heard a lot, especially recently, about prescription drugs or the drugs you have in your medicine cabinet falling into the hands of your loved ones. What should I do to properly dispose of my medications?
That is a great question. So first of all, I want to talk first about the fact that anytime you have a prescription drug, it is important to keep it locked up and out of the reach of children. That is something that so many times we don't even think about. Strangers may be coming into the home to visit, things like that. Your prescription medication should be locked up at all times in a cool, dry place and out of the reach of children. So that's first and foremost. And then after that, when medicines are no longer needed, it's really important to dispose of them properly. And we want to reduce harm from accidental exposure or them getting into the wrong hands. So there are several options and recommendations to consider with respect to doing that. There are prescription drop-off locations, and you may have heard in the media around the state of Montana over the last several years, in fact, since 2010, literally thousands of Montanans have brought back unused prescription medications, tons of them, to drug take-back days that have been sponsored by the Department of Justice and by the DEA, and those have happened all throughout the state, since 2010, and so that's been really important. But in addition to that, there are the options to go to different drug drop-off locations throughout the state. That information is available on the Department of Justice website. I believe we'll have that superimposed on the screen for our viewers so they can check that out. And literally, there are drop-off locations throughout every major city in the state of Montana all of the time, and then even some of the smaller towns throughout the state of Montana. For example, here in Helena, the Helena Police Department on Breckenridge is a drop-off location. So folks can drop off their drugs at any given time to one of those locations as they see fit. Now, if you are in a situation where you don't want to take the time to do that, there's another mechanism to dispose of your medicines properly, and it's recommended by the CDC and the Office of Drug Control Policy. It's very simple. You can do this at your own home. So you're just going to take your old prescriptions that either you're done taking, they've been discontinued by your doctor, or that you are no longer using, and you're going to empty those into a bag that has either used coffee grounds or old kitty litter, or just even new kitty litter, whichever you prefer. And you're going to seal the bag up, and you're going to throw that in the trash. So that's just dumping the prescriptions, pills actually into that undesirable substance, if you will. And then the second part of that is you want to take your prescription bottle and remove all of your personal information by scratching it off, peeling off the label, and you can throw that in the trash and get rid of it. And that is recognized as the appropriate way to do that. And again, it's really super important. Just a quick story. I know we just have maybe a couple seconds left, but I don't think you think about the fact that your things need to be locked up and put away. I myself was a victim of a stranger coming into the house and taking an old prescription that I had left over from a surgery, had not thrown away, and it was taken out of my home by somebody who'd come to visit for an open house. So I'm a pharmacist, should know better than that, but did not have my prescriptions either thrown away, disposed up, or locked up and put away. And so that just reiterates again, it can happen to anybody. It did in fact happen to me. So make sure you do that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being here and all your great information.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here as well. I'd also like to thank Monique and her for being here and sharing some tips with us. We can all work with our pharmacists to be a more engaged and empowered patient. Make sure you make them a part of your healthcare team. Until next week, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. We'll see you next week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.